Vincent and Mike, and they gave me all this is going to be a stream of consciousness kind of a approach to this meeting. It's more of a family briefing rather than a community. But you're right. This is a village and something that I wake up every morning. I'm still joyous about being the mayor of Biloxi, this wonderful place. First of all, we celebrated my wife and our 51st anniversary. I can tell you where we were, but I want to give her my love again. And has it really been 51 years? How did our parents let us get married that early? But of course, my sister, my daughter, everybody, we're all related in one way or the other. I think most of the city councils here we can pass. We already passed the budget, so there's no reason. That was a great budget, a great thing to do, and I think all of my crew, all of the city employees, fire, police, everyone that we've been doing a pretty good job. We try to finish with more money than we started with, and do the things that you need to do for our city. So I thank the council, and I thank everyone, all the directors, and all of our 604 employees for doing the job that they do. So anyway, thank you all. But one thing, I see our Keesler cousins here, and I'm going to start by singing and recognizing this is the 76th birthday of the Air Force, right? So we should say, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Air Force. Happy birthday to you. I really want to talk about those things that they fly to. And we're still knocking on wood and hoping that this area can survive another year without really those things. But one of my grandson, my 2-year-old grandson, sees those planes going back and forth, and it was very comforting, good glory. And at 3 o'clock in the morning to hear those planes spool up about getting ready to go. So we know we're most proud of that, and you're right here with us as part of our family. So thank you, Air Force. Thank you for everything you do. And that leads me into one of the points. We're about ready to pull the trigger on the outside the gate. For the great, as the governor said, the best main gate in the United States. So that's a $37 billion project that we've been talking about for 20 years, I believe, and now it's going to become a reality. I think everything, infrastructure inside the gate is done, on time and around the budget. So thank Christopher, thank everyone for putting that together. Again, there's a lot of things that happen. I think Wool Market City Center, we got to do some foundation over there as far as the recreation and community center there. A new Waffle House too, right? One of the beach house, pretty cool. Hotels, I think the Sheraton, Hilton, Jordan, I'm sorry, just hosted a few things. So things are coming online, and I think the look and the feel and the understanding of things happening here in Biloxi and on our coast is very, very positive. I always talk about just bang for the buck. Being in Biloxi is unbelievable. Part of that is Biloxi Public Schools. We're real proud of Dr. Troy, your leadership, and we're A-rated once again, right? The junior high is actually the best in the state, right? Again, bang for the buck. You look at the numbers. You look at where we are. It's just very. I'm just proud to say that they measure up to us. We don't have to worry about that. But it's because of the pride and the expertise that over generations that those things happen because you love what you do, and we love the area that we were doing it in. So we were most pleased to have Biloxi Public Schools, and again, bang for the buck. You can't beat it. So thanks to Dr. Carter, thanks to Biloxi Public Schools, And you know, every program in the world, I think that they do is top notch. So thanks again. I'm going to start with something I think is very important, although it's supposed to be at the end of my speech. But one thing we're coming up with is our April 1, I think, of 2020 is Census Day. And I don't know, you know, if you realize how important that is. In 2010, every 10 years it's done, we feel like we were undercounted about 30%. And that's not only for the city of Biloxi, but also for the state. One result is that they lost the 5th congressional seat. And we feel we need to be sure that everyone is counted. This is the first year that you can do these things online. You can actually register. And you know, we have a big challenge. Bottom line is, for every person that's here in our county, there's about $2,200 that you miss in funding. They're just the mechanics and the matrix of how things are distributed. Billions of dollars and divided by the house count, or divided by the population count, and that's a big deal. So if we miss 5,000 people like we thought we did, that's a big number. So there's going to be an effort. Each of our council have a person that will help and go to meetings and define how we get this going, and how we encourage people. So I want to encourage you to encourage everybody else. When you get that in the mail, or somebody comes by your house, or a way to do this online, do it, because it's really important. It's really important to Biloxi. It's really important to you know, what we're entitled to. So we don't want any more than we deserve, but we want everything we do deserve. So that's important. And again, there's a couple of things. Vincent Rose said, you know, Biloxi, we're a biker town. He said, not Asgard, but bikers. So I'm trying to read, where you Vincent. But anyway, it is good to see some of the stripes, for the bicycle lanes. I think just today or yesterday talked about Oak Street and Division Street. Finally, some of the things Felix, we're finally finishing some things. We're going to sweep it up too. Me and you have to, polish it up a little bit. But that was 55 miles of street. We're only down to about 5 or 6 dirt roads that we're working. That's a big thing. Of the, I think $127 million worth of work, we got about 8 left in that North project. South project is cranking up now, which would be in phases, so we can do this a little bit more gracefully. A lot of things happening on the highway now. That resurfacing is going much better than I expected. Warren Paving, I think, is doing things at night, and it's amazing what they do in one night. I saw, in coming back from the Simonia Lodge one Thursday night, I visited that just that they did the whole eastbound or westbound lane from Main Street to Oak Street in one night, and it was it was really wild. And then what they do also is, if you notice, it's a base of concrete, and there are places where the concrete kind of dips up. They were actually milling that, and so the surface is they've done a terrific job in making a smooth surface, and you can tell by the speed people are flying down the road. Again, we got cruising coming up, right? And so we trying to get everything in line and ready for cruising. I think this is the first year we'll have Howard Avenue. We had a Farmers Day parade that actually, my grandson and my wife rode in the Farmers Day parade down Howard Avenue. That was pretty cool. I think that was the first, other than the children's Christmas parade, this was the first time we ran down Howard Avenue. But that break dance for us is a pretty good deal. And we're looking for opportunities to close it so we can dance on Howard Avenue. So, these things have been happening, and sometimes, it's amazing how it does come together. But again, it's something that we're, trying to move it forward and do the things that you would be and your family would be proud of. Okay, Vincent, took the biplanes and Census and public schools. And again, that's terrific. I think the building that's going up right now, that's the new cultural art performance center, right? That's awesome. think that's the only 2 cranes that I see in Biloxi at this point in time, right? So again, to me, you know, it's just a joy every morning to be here as mayor, and you know, I just thank y'all for doing the things that you do to kind of keep us focused and keep us going in the right direction. So, unless I've really forgotten anything, I'll open this up for any questions. 1,001, 1,002. But, you know, Vincent.
I saw the ground broken for a community bank the other day in downtown, but when am I going to be able to bring the Barks root beer in the Barks building?
Well, as soon as we get the approval from the Architectural Historical Commission to put the decks and some of the things that I think that's going to be you know, an event, and no, I forgot all about that. But yeah, it's happening. Those things are popping up and every day. I know I'm forgetting something else on that, but it's I think a tea room. I believe is that what's going to be. So I know I'm a big tea drinker too. You know that. But any other questions?
Mayor, is there an update on the potential convention center here in Biloxi?
Right, they're actually they have applied, or the group that's looking at proposing some, you know, a 500-room hotel and a 1,000-square-foot convention center, had been applying for some of the BP money to see if that would, you know, help with the room guarantee. You know, today 500 rooms, a hotel just in itself is $250,000 a key. So that's a big figure. You know, it's a $250 million project. The you know, the mechanics of the numbers have to work out, and of course you have to borrow the money. The bankers are really easy nowadays, right? So I think that's the process. The CSL actually provided a study and said that within the 7,000 hotel rooms that we have, this would certainly uplift it to 750 or 70,000 to 100,000 room nights. You know, in talking with some, I call them the 8 families, the casino bunch, that they would want to make sure that, you know, it works for them. They're not the room blocks and those kinds of things, and the profile. They want new business, and we all want new business, and I think that's a big part of you know, how this is possible. If it's possible. You know, it's just like having a baby, easy to conceive, hard to deliver. And, that's what we're going for right now.
Mayor, you know, we're such a resilient community and city and everything, but the Bonnet Carre spillway. What are we doing? What is our part?
Well,
making sure that doesn't ever happen again.
Right. Well, we don't know that. You know, will happen again. Again, we've been 2 or 3 times to Washington, meeting with some White House groups and so forth. The other day, jointly with the county, the city of Biloxi, and the city of Diablo, funding I guess the ability to put the deliverable is what we can do to keep this from happening from a law standpoint. You know, who's responsible, who can be brought to the table. Yeah, again, it's not acceptable. We started probably the worst 4th of July in history, right? Because of that. Then those flags are still up there. And never in history, nobody in this room remembers it's been shut down for months. And that's not right. And there's no benefit to Mississippi for that diversion through Pontchartrain, through Lake Pontchartrain and Bigger Leagues. It harms everything. There's no benefit at all. Again, there are 31 states and 2 Canadian provinces that drain to the Mississippi River. Again, I went to Washington, went to a joint Senate conference in Jackson. There are a lot of factors, but long term, we've got to figure out something that this can't happen over and over and over again. There's some things that are encouraging about original jurisdiction. And this happened, original jurisdiction means that if we go into a lawsuit from this state against another state, I'm not talking about us against Louisiana, with Mississippi and Louisiana together against things that are upriver. I mean, there's got to be diversions up higher or timing where the Mississippi River can actually absorb in a timely way. But this original jurisdiction means that, and it's happened a couple of times with Florida against Georgia, right there by Apalachicola, and there was some issue with regard to taking water and using water in a different way. But that went right to the Supreme Court, so you get the call pretty gracefully. And the same thing between North Carolina and South Carolina, but between disputes between states. But our dispute is that the 31 states and 2 Canadian provinces are draining this, and it's not fresh water. It's far from fresh water. And you can put to about 5 or 6 states where the fertilizer, the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and all this is coming from, and who's involved with making those fertilizers and stuff. So it's polluted water, and polluted water doesn't help anything. There's just no way. So that's the path we're going down. And jointly, we've hired legal representation to determine, to give us a deliverable of what we can do, the path we can go through to not only recover what we've been already on, but to do something. And it's a 40-year solution. We've been operating since 1930. And the obvious question: why didn't they open up Morganza? And nobody has answered that. Nobody will give you the answer. The problem with the Corps of Engineers, they're charged with protecting property and lives, not economies. But they've harmed us. We know that. Everybody knows that. But we can't take another July and August and September like we had. It's just not right. So we're prepared to move it forward once we found a channel to get somebody's attention. But what I was encouraged with was the ability to go right to the Supreme Court. But that certainly is a multi-year kind of deal. But we've taken the first steps, and we've raised help as much as we can. Not that it means anything to anyone, but it's a bad deal, and it's going to happen again. Yeah. Susan.
Is there any information on the Sanger?
Yeah, we have an indication through the BP money that we're going to get $4 million, 2 from us and 2 from them. And so we'll move forward with that, and we're about ready to, Mike, we've actually been,
About Sanger there?
yeah, the Sanger flying tower, we actually prepared. Work has started. So that flying tower is 60-foot
We
tower.
have 300 days of normal period.
Okay, 300 days, so in a year.
In the meantime, as you know, we've asked for another $2 million from MDA
That's
to
right.
finish the inside.
Right. And, it's a 10, 15, could be a 10 or $15 million project, but to get the doors open and groups performing again. We've entertained proposals from folks that once we get the envelope sealed, that what can we do to keep the activities going? The symphony. Symphony needs a home. Of course, a beautiful home for the symphony. The performing groups, the ballets and the choral groups. It's absolutely perfect. Everyone we actually put an RFP out and had 4 or 5 responses. But everyone were in awe of when they get up on the stage and look back there, what this could be, 971 seats, I think. So we're very fortunate that we got at least a few million dollars. We also actually, from that same group, about $9 million to be matched with city money for the upgrade of the Park Cadet Marina. Those were 2 things that did come our way. Again, we're pitching, as much as we can from the Tidelands. We're about ready to pull the trigger on phase 2 of the West Biloxi boardwalk on Restaurant Road. Now, it would take us from Veterans to all the way to Treasure Bay. Once we iron out Peter Wright, a little bit of right-of-way issue, so that's cooking right now. Talking about the main gate, we were very pleased that we had to purchase a number of properties, but there were actually I believe five homes that could be removed. Now, we actually asked for proposals to move those homes to other places. And I think we've got 4 proposals ready to go. So I think WOX had put a little bit about, the Craftsman homes, the shotgun homes that's been a part of our community since Keesler days. I talked a little bit about, if you notice in Biloxi, how many homes have garage apartments in their back. And that's directly, as a result of Keesler coming on board in 1941 here, that's 70-something years. But anyway, as Fred Hayes described, Biloxi went through a change almost instantly in 41. Used to be 15,000 people. Almost instantly went to 100,000. And there were tents everywhere, and the downtown was reflected especially on the weekends, and paydays, that kind of painted. What we're trying to bring back is that Howard Avenue entertainment venue. So that's again, we were very fortunate. And our fathers and our grandfathers were ones that it was just like when you adopt a child. You love that child, and we have had Keesler there and been successful. I mean, every phase of Biloxi, you could always depend. And, the airmen and their families were always the best tenants to have. So we're very fortunate and very thankful that Keesler is here and vibrant, and we're swinging with you every day. So that's a great pleasure to have Keesler, number one in the Air Force as far as I'm concerned. So, Benson.
I know Jerry's been working, community development director's been working with a restaurateur over on Keller Avenue.
Yeah, Bart's building, that's the tea room. And actually, Jerry, we passed, and there was some question on whether you could use some original planking, and so it's going to be as original as possible. And some of I think the last question was related to the loading dock, which today would be a deck. And that loading dock, which would be right south of the building on Keller, in that little alleyway that went there. So they're actually doing that, and so it's going to be it'll stay on Keller Avenue, but it's the other part of our history. How many people every time you see an old Boston bottle, and it used to be a nickel deposit on it. It's really cool things. Another thing talking about. Margaritaville and the amusement park, I think they pulled the permits, $150 million worth of entertainment, and I think we got $12 million Ferris wheel. Is that right, Kenny? That's right. I think it's 160. It's going to be pretty cool. But the other thing we're hammering around is the ability to give us an additional exit from the Biloxi Ocean Springs Bridge right to Howard Avenue. So that will, in considering a possible convention center somewhere in East Biloxi, if it comes to pass, we'll have 2 ways. Because traffic right now stops up at that bridge, depending on the light. So we'll have an additional exit coming from the east to Howard Avenue. That'll fire up Howard Avenue too. And again, eventually, if there is a convention center, it'll be located somewhere from that point. Maybe all the way to Holly Street. So, anyway, Dixie.
Mayor, can you elaborate more on the Census 2020 and how important and how they made it abundantly clear that the buzz, form groups, teams to get the word out, change the mindset of those that don't want to be?
That's right. It is so important. And again, something that I've committed to is to develop some of these non-relational databases or non-obvious databases that say there are people here. And if the census is not counted at location, there are instances that we can say there are multiple families, not just 4 people. It could be 8 people in this, but it's do the arithmetic, $2,200 a head count. That's easy. So it's very important. Not only that, our representation, is tied to that. So if we miss 5,000 people last year, that's a big number. We should have been, instead of 44,000 people, we should have been 50. Now I think we need to be at 55. The challenge is, okay, you got different communities that have, a mistrust of being counted, being told. But, these other folks there are other databases that give that information. So we're trying to correlate from this database or that database or utilities that, there are people living here, and if we'll review, your folks that you'll be using or asking to come out and hustle, we'll all get together and say, hey, this is where we are, and we want to grow that county. We need to be at least 55,000 people. We feel like we missed about 5,000 to 6,000 people last year. One example is Keesler. You have 27,000 airmen come through this training program. They're not here. What could be 6 months, could be 6 weeks. But if they're here April 1st, that's going to be included. And good things online. I mean, they can do this online. I mean, that's triangularity. I get them every day when I go by. So, but I mean, that's a big thing. Well, don't leave it on the table. And again, we've got communities that we need to encourage. Hey, there's nothing sinister about this. It's going to help all of us. It's going to help you. And we've been, like I said, a big gumbo for a bunch of years, and that's all part of the root, if you know what I mean. So, okay, Vincent again. 2 new fire stations, right? And $1 million worth of body cams, and 2 new fire stations, 2 new trucks, 12 new firemen. Again, we in our budget discussions, there were about $2.4 million. We didn't have to buy, but we did. We didn't have to put 2 new fire stations, but we did. And those comes with a cost. But it's reflective as far as Joe. We're trying to get that #1 rating, not A minus. We want an A rating. And I think we're with Joe's leadership and everybody in that. I think we've crossed that with that investment. And again, it's not an expenditure; it's an investment. So it's all these things that we're talking about are going to have a multi-year life. All part of this 20-year plan. You're going to buy things that will stay with us, and it's all reflective of the response times and actually the ratings and so forth that your home insurance and every way reflective in the quality of life. So with the city council and what we've done is invest in Biloxi's future, and again, not just 1 year to the other. It's a 10-year plan, 20-year plan. Joe Riley from Charleston had a 50-year plan. And
Mayor, I got one more question, because I think this is important. About 6-7 years ago, we introduced abatements, tax abatements. They're going to be rolling off in the near future, like next year and the year after. What effect is that going to have on revenues for the city to be able to do that?
Well, the ad valorem tax revenue will be bumped. I think we grew at about 3%. But there were at least 15 properties who enjoyed that. We were trying to attract the abatement. So I think we, about 5 years ago, said, listen, things are happening. And so we could attract folks. We said, okay, as far as the city's tax, the ad valorem tax based on your actual value, we would abate 50% of the taxes. You would pay less tax, 50% for 5 years. Those 5 years are up, and some of them are rolling off, and so that'll give us another couple percent. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And every day we're trying to incent things that make sense, because I mean, it's not like you throwing that money away. You invest in 60 months from now. Hey, you're right in the ballgame that we need to be growing. I think the county, we've done a lot of good things with the county. I think the county's coming along. We've got a significant revenue stream from the ports in harbors to do some things. We're expecting a couple of projects on the bay, another boardwalk, and a boardwalk between Oak Street and the small craft harbor coming within a month. So we're encouraged every day. You know, we're still battling at Thailand's. You know, our Thailand's dollars generated by the 8 casino operations is about 8.5 million of the 10 million that's distributed to other places, and we want our fair share. And we're still battling every day to do that. So the opportunity is there, and I think we're trying to knock on the door or kick down the door, whatever it takes. So, Vincent, anything else?
It's a same question that I ask you every day. How do you do it?
That's a good question. It just happened. Anyway, again, I'm thankful that I'm here. I'm thankful every day that we live in a place where we live is the best in the world. So thank y'all.